Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes weekly webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today from our friends at Uniquely Creative, we have a gorgeous collection called Dear Diary. We have a beautiful little slimline fold-out album, some fantastic ephemera die cuts, and a 6x6 paper pack. You guys together, they make really beautiful and charming cards like this one. This is our giveaway card for this episode, so if you stick around, you'll learn how one lucky viewer can win this card to keep or share with a friend. So come play with us. All right, let's take a look at this 6x6 paper pack. You're getting 32 single-sided papers, you're getting 16 designs, and you're getting 2 of each, okay? So let's take a look at this one. We're gonna do 1 of each and then it just repeats. Beautiful pastel florals, absolutely gorgeous. Okay, these are single-sided. And then beautiful white woodwork. This one's kind of a mottled floral around the edges in sort of creams, ivories, tans, pinks. Okay, this one gorgeous. Like, we've got a lot going on here. We've got a ledger, we've got some, I'm not sure what this is, like an architectural plans kind of situation, postcard, grid, and then florals on top of it. And this would be like ivory with tan printing. This is so beautiful. These flowers are pinks, rusts, tans, gorgeous rich colors on kind of a creamy ivory background. Very much a sepia here. And then gorgeous pinks and greens and cream colors. This is tan with some pink and ivory with the script letters. This one's got a lot of green and kind of a green and ivory color, I would say. Beautiful tan with some sepia rust colors down in the corners. This one is awesome. It is just a little, either 2 tags that you can cut out individually, or you can cut them out together and fold them into a card, and then there's some little cutouts here. Okay, and then tan ledger, and then all of these phenomenal cutouts, some polka dots, and then another sheet of cutouts, stripes, and then we're starting over again with all the papers. Sure we got them all. We did. Okay. So let's start. First of all, I wanted to show you, before we get too far into this little one, little tags. I went ahead and I cut these out just like this, and then inked the edges with a little khaki ink and my favorite little blending tool all the way around the edges. Here are some of the little die cuts, which I'm going to show you next. Put one of those down here, foam taped this, just a really simple little note card. So, or you could cut them out individually, but I just wanted to show you that quickly. All right, now let's take a look at all of this fantastic die cut ephemera. Fabulous. Okay, so starting at the top here, you get 2 of everything. Okay, so you have these beautiful floral sprays, these little like tag shapes, all of these words, the frames, this little French perfume label, lots of little tags. Here's a little border that I showed you on this little card. You've got the little word happy here, which I think there's 2 of these together. Come on, separate, there we go. And then lots of butterflies, lots of little celebrate you, thank you, happy birthday, the little pocket watch, the camera, lots more beautiful flowers. I love the frames. So yeah, lots to play with here, okay? And then finally, this is so amazing. This is just this little Dear Diary slimline fold-out album. And we've used one of these before in another collection, and I really enjoyed making it. So you just fold it out just like this, like that. And then it's got all these amazing panels that are already pre-decorated, but they're really fun to add things to. You can add photos to these blank spots. You can add journaling, really nice places here to decorate. And then you've got this really nice polka dot spine. So I'm going to show you that in a few minutes how I decorated it. So let's go back to this one, this 5 by 6.5 inch card. And for this one, you guys, I just took some of those beautiful floral papers with a like little rust and peach color roses and things like that. Put that at the top left corner. And then I just found another little piece of script paper. This one was really great for like leftover scraps. And I just had a little piece right here, but before I glued this piece down, I just took some of these 3.5-inch little craft colored doilies, which we absolutely love. This little space in the center is perfect for just adding little things. I glued that down using the little miniature bottle, and we fill it with Cosmic Shimmer Specialist acrylic glue, our favorite glue, and then these just come empty and you can fill them up with your favorite glue, but the fine point nozzle is amazing, fine details. So I just put little dots of glue around the doily, centered that, and then I glued this strip of script paper across the bottom edge. I took those cute little die cuts and I glued one here and then just a portion of another one. They're overlapping here. And then added my favorite, you guys, you know what it is. It's the white fancy border dazzle stickers. And I just added one of these, this little scallop, just right across the top of that. And then this little tag right here, I just inked the edges of that, just using a little cocoa bean ink and my applicator tool, and then I just glued it right there. Now, this little like string right here, this comes from this little collection. It's the one right on the edge here. And I just put 2 strips of it so that it looked like it was a string, and then foam taped a little butterfly over it. Another little length of that border dazzle. Foam taped the little happy birthday, but I did ink the edges of that. And then foam taped this little flower cluster, foam taped this butterfly, and then just a little bit of my favorite 1/8 inch ribbon. And there's just a really nice little light teal color, kind of an aqua color. Just tied a little bow, and then I just used a little bit of glue to attach that. So this is our giveaway card, you guys, and how that works is we are trying to promote our Paper Wishes YouTube channel. So if you're watching us on our webisode page, if you just expand this page, okay, at the bottom you should see a little YouTube icon. If you click on that, it'll take you on over to our YouTube page. We ask that you subscribe to our YouTube page, give this video a like or a thumbs up, and then leave us a comment. And then after about a week, we'll reply. Well, first of all, we reply to everybody's comment, and thank you for your comment. But then after about a week, we'll reply, congratulations, YouTube username blank. So one viewer will win this card. We identify you by your YouTube username, so you do have to know your username. If you're not sure what that is, when you leave a comment, just go back and read your comment because it'll be labeled with your username. It's also a good idea to hit that notification bell because you'll know when we are dropping new videos, and also when we're reaching out for a winner to announce, okay? We also put this announcement over on our community page on the home page for our YouTube channel. And we announce those 3 times a week because we have giveaways Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. And so if you like, comment, and are a subscriber, every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday videos, that would give you 3 chances to, well, you would only win once, but there's 3 opportunities for winners, okay? So yeah, definitely participate in that. We love giving away those cards. All right, next, you guys, we have a little sidestep card. I love using these cards, these little die cut cards. These are so fun to just take this package. There's 5 die cut pre-folded cards. They literally just come like this right out of the package. They also have 5 envelopes. And then on the other side of this little thing, this little cover, there's a little pattern where you can cut this out and cover, like how you cover it, how you cover the card with paper. I just took a rectangle and glued it to this section and then another little strip in this section. So I actually didn't use the pattern. I inked the edges of each piece using cocoa bean, and definitely using that little applicator softens that look so much. And then put one of those little lacy border dazzle stickers right there across the top of that, just to cover up the seam of the paper. And then all of these are just adorable little cutouts from the book, from the little paper pack. Let me see if I can grab those really quickly. Talk amongst yourselves. Here we go. All right, there's that one, but there's also another cutout sheet. Here we go. So these little flags are little cutouts, and I cut those out, inked the edges, and then foam taped them right here. And then this piece right here is also a cutout, right here. The tickets, also cutouts. Inking the edges of all of those really helps. It gives it kind of a, I don't know, an antiqued finish, and then it also just kind of highlights those edges, gives it a little more depth. The little butterfly is also a cutout right here. And then this little piece right here for you, that is also cut out. And then just using tiny scissors for those, really, really helpful. And then a tiny words and phrases dazzle stickers in gold. You can buy these by the sheet. And then I just like using a little pokey tool just to lift these up and place those on my card. And finally, adding these adorable little paper flowers with pearl centers. Just add a very nice little dimension right there. Just a really sweet little card, little steps. And when somebody receives this and they pull this right out of the envelope, it just stands right up. There's no engineering that needs to be figured out. I really like sending these to people. All right, now this one, like that. Really simple card, you guys. 5 by 6.5 inches, or scored down the center of the card front, and then just fold that over. And then you've got 2 panels, one here and one here, that are 2.5 inches wide by 6.5 inches. I just cut some of the paper down just a little bit smaller than that. Ink those edges with the khaki ink. This panel back here is 1, ink the edges 2. Covered these 1, 2, 3 panels, glued those down. And then you've got this arch, and this arch, I used Nested Arches cutting dies, and I used the second to the largest for the pink, and the pink came from Watercolor Wildflower solid cardstock, and then the stripe paper came from the paper pack, and I cut that as the next size down, or the third from the largest. I inked the edges of all of these, you guys, with Orchid ink and the applicator tool. So we're using both Orchid and khaki on this card. And then I glued that frame from the die cuts, which I love. I glued that down first to the arch, and then foam taped that little pocket watch right there. Then I foam taped the little happy right here, and then foam taped the beautiful little butterfly, just overlapping those. One of these little die cut flowers overlapping that. And then I added some crystals. Where are my crystals? Here they are. So these are just raspberry crystals. They're loose. I find using the little jewel picker really nice to pick these up. And then also that little fine tip applicator tool, glue bottle, is really handy. And glue those. And then on the back here, we have 2 tags. Let me grab these. We have this one and this one. This one I inked with the khaki. And then this one I inked with the cocoa bean. And I glued this one, foam taped this one, added a little bit of that adorable 1/8 inch ribbon for a bow, and then went back and added some of those gold tiny words and phrases dazzle stickers and a couple of little crystals right there. Really fun card, not complicated, but it looks like a lot, right? But this is your only piece here, and that's a really simple piece of engineering. Okay, let's see what else we have. Oh yeah. Here we go. Okay, so this is what I did with this little album. First off, added some die cuts right here. I found I just didn't need to do a lot to the cover because it's so pretty here. And I added some of these lace applique butterflies. They come in, I think, 3 or 4 different sizes. So I added 2 on the front with a couple of those little crystals. Let's open it up here. Then I took a doily, and I cut that in half. This is just one of those little 4-inch wide white doilies that come in a little pack like this. I cut one of them in half. Actually, I think I cut it not quite in half. I think there's a center piece that I just cut out of the center of them. And then I used my applicator tool and a little bit of khaki ink all around them, and then using this is really important with the doilies, and then went ahead and just applied that so that the straight edge was aligned with the straight edge here, then glued this down, glued this down, glued this down, foam taped a permanent record, and then the date. This is one of the little die cuts, and this is what makes this collection Dear Diary, because we're now recording a special event. So it could be a vacation, could be a wedding, or what have you. So I love that. I foam taped that, added those crystals, and then we're just going to open it up again. Here's one of those butterflies using the little applicator bottle, definitely helpful there. Glued that, foam tape, just glued this, and then added just a little bit of the border from this little sheet. And then more crystals, and then over here, glued, and then added some crystals, glued this little birthday. And then this one, I just took some white cardstock and I cut it down, inked that with the khaki ink, foam taped the flowers here, added some crystals and glued those. Then this one, you guys, this pocket is just half of a doily, and I only glued it on the edges so that, and then I added just, oh no, it kind of got stuck to my tag, to do a little repair there. And then I just took one of the little fancy Border Dazzle stickers and I just put it along that raw edge. And then we've got 2 of the die cut tags. I like to just glue them so they're overlapping, and then foam taped one of these little flowers there. There's one of the little gold tiny words and phrases Dazzle stickers again, and some of those little crystals, just a little bow. So just gluing these tags at the top just allows you to just go in and tuck one here and then have one overlap the edge. I think that's kind of a fun thing to do. Now we're going to go a little bit farther here. Here's some more just white cardstock inked, has a dazzle, border dazzle along the same bottom edge here, here and here. And then just foam tape, added some crystals around those. Really, really simple. Now these, I foam taped them so you could still add a photo there if you didn't put the crystals. You could tuck a photo in there. You could do your journaling. We've got another little cute butterfly right there. So just really easy and fun to decorate using a few supplies. And I think this would make a really lovely gift if you added some photos into it, like a little grandma brag book, or as I said, a journal or a diary of a special event. Okay, you guys, this was a really fun collection. I had a great time. I think they're really beautiful papers. They're really kind of subtle. And I'm going to clean up my area here. There we go. So definitely check out that money saver. It's right there on the right-hand side. We have a great collection. If you're interested in buying, just this piece, or if you're interested in the doilies or the dazzles, look down below the video and you'll see full color photos of all the projects. And below that, all the items are listed individually, and you can just put them directly into your cart. Or as I said, take advantage of that money saver. And if you're watching us over on YouTube, hello, thank you for joining us. It'd be great if you would subscribe to our channel. And also, if you look down below the video in the description box, you'll see a link that will take you to this Paper Wishes webisode page. Thanks for joining me today, you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.